Introducing the Pioneer DJ DJM-A9. This all new mixer comes with new effects, dual headphone queuing, center lock on the sound color effects, an enhanced mic section with effects, much more expanded connectivity with USB-C and Bluetooth. Plus we've got booth EQ control and a new Stagehand app to control the mixer and CDJs away from the booth. Not forgetting improved sound quality and an improved feeling in the faders. We're about to deep dive into all of that and much more in this comprehensive review of the DJM-A9. Let's go! It's easier than ever to go back to back with this new mixer because we now have dual headphone control. As you can see, we've got headphones A and headphones B. B plugs in on the front of the unit and A plugs in on the face of the unit with both 1/8 and 1/4 inch jack outputs there. We've got full control with level controls for each, a mix, a master pot for each, plus link Q mono split for both headphones as well. You can then independently control whether you want to send the channel through A, B or A and B for both the master and all the independent channels. This is a great and welcomed addition. The sound color effects now have a new center lock feature. With this on, it means you can apply an effect such as the filter, and then when you sweep it back to the center, it locks and I can't push it any further until I release and then I do it again. How does this work? Well, I can feel that there's like a little click in the center, and if I do it slowly now, you can see that I can go either way even with this setting turned on, but fast you've basically got to release it before you do it again. On paper this sounded a bit weird, but as I've started playing with it, I can tell you that this feels natural. I've not had any issues with it, and actually it's quite a welcomed addition for those big filter sweeps when you're doing build-ups into the drop. You can, if you choose, to just turn this back off and it will work as standard like the older model mixers. The effects channel has been massively updated too. It's now wider with much more space, and this, another welcomed addition, we have actual switches for the channel select across all the different channels instead of the rotating knob. I much prefer this because you can switch between the channels much easier, and definitely a welcomed addition. Plus we have 3 new effects. We've got Mobius, triplet roll and triplet filter. To hear these fully in action, check out our performance on this mixer. But let's just quickly run through how they sound. We've got Mobius. We've got triplet roll. And we've got the triplet filter. You can see that the X pad has been updated and it's now just in a single line, which is much easier for sweeping left and right. It's also changed how it reacts when we're playing with like the echo, for example. We get a tape echo effect. As we sweep between the two. So, X-Pad, again, another welcomed addition. All of the other popular effects are still featured. We did replace 3 of the effects with the slip roll and the pitch and one other being replaced, but you still have access to all of the favourite effects in here, plus those new ones. Just like before, we've got the low, mid and high frequency effects buttons as well. If you're unsure how to really use the effects creatively, then make sure to check out our DJ courses. From the CDJ Masterclass course to our DJ courses on the XDJs and CDJ players, you'll find out how to get creative with all of these effects or how to deep dive on your equipment depending on which course you choose. Now over to the LCD screen, where you can see we've got a much larger display here and it's much clearer. The screen gives you all the information you need about the effect that you've got chosen, and you'll see different things change here for the X-Pad depending on which effect you've chosen, and it's much clearer on this unit. We also have the utility settings if we hold this button on the screen, and again we will run through them later in the review. There's been a big emphasis on updating the mic channel. You can see now we have a phantom power built into this mixer, so you can plug in condenser microphones into this mixer, studio quality microphones, and use them on a DJ mixer, which is one of the first times we've seen something like that on a mixer of this caliber. Then you can see we've got the usual controls, mic level 1 and 2, and the EQs, plus a talk over. But here are some of the new features. We've got now a mic reverb with level directly on the face of the unit. We can then combine that if we want with some of these new mic effects, such as an echo, which is on 1 beat at the moment, but you can change the beat parameter in the utility settings to whatever you choose.
We've got pitch,
so you can hear
my voice changing.
And we've got megaphone here, so I'm not sure who's going to use the megaphone, but again, an interesting new effect added to the microphone there. Lastly, we have this push to talk. So this is the on-off switch. But if we hold this down, you'll see it flashes, and then that means I'm talking now into the microphone, and when I release, it will turn off. This is a really good way to just address the crowd quickly, and then obviously release to carry on and not leave the microphone turned on. Another great feature is that you can disable the microphone through the record out of the mixer in the settings. So you can record your sets in high quality, but still address the crowd and not have those things that you're saying to the crowd in the recording if you choose not to. That's a great addition too. The connectivity to this thing has been updated as well. As you can see, we now have USB-Cs for connectivity to our laptops for both A and B. This is for easy changeover and back-to-back between DJs, and at launch, I'm aware that Rekordbox is plug and play. Serato, you'll have to pay for the Serato DJ software, the subscription to the software, to be able to plug it into the mixer and have a full license. I haven't heard anything about Traktor or Virtual DJ or Algorithm DJ or any of the other softwares as yet, but those two will be supported at launch. You'll also notice we have this Bluetooth mode. You can hold it down to pair to a device. Once you're paired, you can then assign the Bluetooth to any of the channels on the mixer. You can apply effects to this, you can send any audio through the Bluetooth and use it on any channel of the mixer as you would any other input source. Underneath we have MIDI options now with an on-off switch and a start-stop switch for the MIDI if you're running MIDI units into the mixer. The mixer features all the usual inputs and outputs as you would expect on the previous models on the back of the mixer, but one new thing to draw your attention to is this multi-IO now on top of the effects channel. Instead of this routing through the effects channel, we can now send this to any of the independent channels on the mixer from 1 through 4, mic, crossfader A and B, and master. So the output will go to a channel of our choice and we can apply effects to that output as well. For example, I have an iPad now plugged in here. I can switch the source down to USB and I can choose a channel such as channel 1 and then switch this over to USB on the select at the top. Now, I can send that source through that channel and I can even apply effects to it. If you use external send and return hardware such as effects units, you can switch this up to the send and return, again sending that output back to any of the channels to apply extra effects, and you can control the send level and the insert here as well. The booth output now features a low and a high EQ, so you can tune your booth to sound similar to the master output in the club. If you want to feel confident stepping up to any CDJ DJM setup in a club, make sure to check out our CDJ Masterclass course where you can learn everything about the Pioneer DJ setup of mixers and CDJs. This mixer now has a larger footprint compared to its predecessor, and you can tell that when you're mixing on it. All of the EQ pots are just slightly more spaced apart, and it's really nice for mixing on. It feels really natural, like any Pioneer DJ gear. You just feel at home on it right away. There are updated faders in here, so these up faders are now the same as the DJM-V10. And they feel much nicer than the 900 Nexus 2, and we've got an updated Magvel crossfader as well. All in all, it feels great, and straight away you will feel at home mixing on it. I've also been told there's a better frequency response from the isolator curves here as well. So when we're using the EQs on isolator mode, it's been separated in a much cleaner way. We can't tell in the studio monitors here, but hopefully on a big loud sound system, you'll be able to hear the difference. And talking of sound quality, as always, there's been an improvement in the input and output of this unit. So across all of the input channels, we've got new ESS technology, 32-bit AD converters. If you want to find out all the tech specs about the sound quality of this unit, just pause the video and have a read through here. Inside the utility settings of the mixer, we have loads of options. We can go into mixer settings and change all of the output options from the master to the booth to the mic and really dive deep into the sound there. If we go back though and go into my settings, this is really powerful. We can plug a drive into the top of the mixer and we can then save all of our mixer settings to that drive to load into another DJM-A9. You can go right down to actually changing all of the effects. For example, we can go into echo, we can choose what beat fraction we want it on. We can choose whether we want the low, mid or high frequency turned on and basically set it all up to our desired preference. You can change the brightness, the MIDI options and even the headphone options as well. You can then save all that, like I said, to a drive and you can load that on any of the players. We also have this new sound check mode, so you can choose a source, whether it's noise or sine. You can choose whether it's going out the left or the right, or the left and right. See a visual volume, and also check the output on the master, the booth, or the master and the booth. So this is great for sound technicians when they're setting up the equipment in the clubs. We also have Wi-Fi and LAN settings, because this mixer has Wi-Fi built in, so you can connect to a router, connect all of the units to a router itself, and then you can use the new Stagehand app. This app is designed for front of house. This is really so they can control the levels, see the levels live, and all of the settings of the mixer. For example, if I play a song, you'll see it plays on the actual app itself. You can then see everything respond, such as the volume meters, the crossfader. You can see if I turn the master or the booth up and down, and you can see what the levels are. More than that, you can see all the effects. You can then open and close different settings in the mixer and see everything you need to know about the mixer. This works with the DJM-A9 and the CDJ-3000s, and you can see more information here where we can go on device control. We could even pause and play songs from different devices, whether it's CDJ number 1 or number 2. We can save things here, so we can save the setup of how we want the CDJs or the DJM to be set up to load from the iPad itself. We'll be able to see the waveforms as well. This is just a beta version, so it doesn't have all of the things showing up as they should, but this is really useful for those front of house technicians to keep an eye on everything and to also check what's going on and be able to respond with the light show in time with the music. We have a live mode too, so you don't accidentally stop or play any of the things on the device. You see function not available, or we turn it off, and then we can literally go into the CDJs and change all of its settings here just on the iPad. With all those new features considered that you need to know about on this mixer, you can see that the price comes in at a premium price tag, but that's as expected for the top-end club standard equipment from Pioneer DJ. We now have the updated full range with the new DJM-A9 and the CDJ-3000s. We can expect to see this in most clubs, bars, festivals around the world for many years to come. Now, if you're still unsure how to really use this equipment, go check out our CDJ Masterclass course to dive deep on this mixer and the older models as well. I've really enjoyed playing on this mixer. Like I said, I feel right at home. I've got no issues with the mixer at all. There's nothing that's cropped up that I've not enjoyed. The only thing is be careful with this antenna, because I feel like that is probably the weakest point of the mixer and it could break. But everything else feels solid and great. Go check out our performance video to see it in action, to hear the new effects, and to really see it being performed on to its full capacity. I hope you enjoy the mix. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let us know in the comments what you think, and remember to turn on that bell icon to be the first to know about brand new DJ products as they get dropped. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.